All right. Donald Trump has nominated Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to be the Secretary of Health and Human Services. Dear God. Donald Trump posting to Truth Central, quote, I am thrilled to announce Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as the United States the United States Secretary of Health and Human Services. For too long, Americans have been crushed by the industrial food complex and drug companies who have engaged in deception, misinformation, and disinformation when it comes to public health. The safety and health of all Americans is the most important role of any administration, and HHS will play a big role in helping ensure that everybody will be protected from harmful chemicals, pollutants, pesticides, pharmaceutical products, and food additives that have contributed to the overwhelming health crisis in this country. Mr. Kennedy will restore these agencies to the traditions of gold standard scientific research and beacons of transparency to end the chronic disease epidemic and to make America great and healthy again. So listen, we've talked for a long time about how even if we grant that RFK's intentions are good, and let's assume that they are, he's just off on a lot of this stuff. Are COVID-19 vaccines less effective at preventing transmission than we hoped? Yes. Are COVID vaccines dangerous and ineffective at reducing hospitalization, serious illness, and death? No, they are very much effective at that with a strong safety record. So he goes too far. The issue of food in America. Do we have a problem with food in America? Yes, we do. Is the problem the additives per se? In some cases, but when you dig into this stuff, they love to say, oh my God, here's 10 food dyes that are banned in Europe and they're legal here. I try to avoid food dyes. I buy foods that aren't dyed. But while it is true that there are some food dyes banned in Europe and legal in the US, there are also equivalent food dyes legal in Europe that are banned in the US. The real issue is that we've gone away from nutrient-dense food to this calorie-dense, ultra-processed stuff. Are the dyes really the problem? I'd rather not have the dyes, but the overwhelming focus on this one molecule or that one molecule kind of misses the broader point. And meanwhile, Trump loves McDonald's and RFK is like, well, they use tallow for their fries. No, they don't. They don't do it in the UK, by the way. He said they did. They don't. And the real problem is these non-fresh, ultra-processed foods, the likes of which the guy he's now going to be serving under loves, promotes, and serves to everybody. So this is the case with a lot of this stuff. The raw milk thing. Raw milk has been explored. Raw milk does not have any advantage that can be identified nutritionally, even though they claim it does. When you tell them that, they go, well, it's an intangible. You can't find it in any study, but it's just better for you. When the reality is that not pasteurizing milk doesn't get rid of E. coli, salmonella, and listeria. And raw milk has been associated with transmission of that foodborne illness. I'm not saying raw milk should be illegal, but it should certainly be known that it is not at all something that provides the advantages Robert F. Kennedy claims. And it also has potentially significant downsides. And there are little kids who end up hospitalized after having raw milk with listeria. It's horrible. It can be life-threatening. So my hope with all of this, and I don't want to be overwhelmingly alarmist, my hope is that he just kind of fails to do most of the stuff he says he wants to do, because as Secretary of HHS, I don't believe from what I've read, he can just go in and wholesale decimate FDA standards, CDC stuff. I know he's going to try. I hope he doesn't succeed on a lot of this stuff. If he can do something to get people exercising more. I mean, listen, I've said before, you don't need a vaccine conspiracy theorist or whatever to come in and go, listen, if everybody walked 10,000 steps a day, reduced ultra-processed food to under 10% of the calories you consume, got 30 grams of fiber per day, and at least 30 minutes of being outdoors when the sun is out, using appropriate sun protection based on where you live and the UV index. If everybody did that, we reduce diabetes, we reduce obesity, we probably reduce colon cancer. You don't need Robert F. Kennedy to come in and eliminate vaccine requirements for public schools to tell people, hey, do these 4 things, and on average, you're going to be way healthier. So I don't want to go hyperbolic. I think a lot of the stuff he wants to do, he won't be able to do. He's got some bad ideas. And my wish would be come in and create, it's probably like a 6-point plan. It's get your 10,000 steps, 30 grams of fiber, sunlight, sleep, drink enough water, limit ultra processed foods to under 10% of calories. 6-point plan. That you don't need to thimerosal and vaccine. Just those 6 things. If 80% of the country adopted them, we would be so much healthier. And that would be my hope. I don't think it's Bobby's priority. By the way, my funny Bobby story is, speaking of Bobby and food, I once had dinner with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. When you get French fries, totally normal. You grab a French fry, you dip it in ketchup, you eat it with your fingers. Bobby ate a baked potato with his hand. I've never seen anyone do it. Fascinating. I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's not a criticism, just very interesting. I've never, sort of like the Snickers eating with a knife and fork. Bobby ate a baked potato with his hand. So he certainly has ideas as far as nutrition is concerned, and we will see what happens. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, the Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.